Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Philip. I'm based in the United Kingdom, UK, London, and I'm here to speak to you about how you can earn a passive income in stocks and shares and commodities as well. Okay, I'd like to start off by first introducing myself. I've been part of several industries and over the few years, couple of years, and from my experience, I find the technology, fintech technology industry to be my most interesting industry. And this is why I'm here to speak to you about. Okay, let's start off by appreciating what Mr. Robert Kiyosaki outlined for us in terms of a cash flow quadrant. Now, there are four ways to produce income. Now, he states that 95% of the population are either employees or self-employed. And then the 5% of the population are either business owners or investors. Now, here's the funny thing. The employees have a job, self-employed own a job, business owners own a system, and investors own investments. Okay? So they make money work for them. And actually, on the investors box, it's about 1% that are investors. And of course, those are the top, multi-billionaires in there. Now, another interesting statistic says that 5% of the population controls 95% of the world's wealth, whereas the 95% of the population fight for the 5% of the world's wealth. Now, the question is, which side would you like to be? This is why I'm here to speak to you about a very lucrative passive income. Let's move on. Now, did you know that Jeff Bezos is now the richest man in the world, overtaking Bill Gates? Interesting fact is that he actually owns only about 16% of Amazon. And just imagine, for owning just about 16% of Amazon shares, he is the richest man, now worth $150 billion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. Now, that's very interesting. This is why I would like to speak to you about, owning stocks and shares and possibly commodities. And also, just another fact, if you had acquired Amazon shares when they were peanuts, and let's say today they've already gone over $1,000 per share, but let's just say you had about 100,000 shares with Amazon at $14 dividend, your annual dividend alone would have been $1.4 million. Now that is a staggering amount per annum. Okay, so this is you can begin to appreciate my purpose for this video. We may have missed out on Amazon shares, as obviously now they cost a fortune. They will cost you your arm and a leg. However, those that were able to buy when it was in pennies, in peanuts, they're the ones celebrating today, making millions in dividends. Now, though we may have missed out on that, and also on Apple shares. How many people we know own an iPhone but don't have an Apple share? There is a British company based in the United Kingdom, London, called Igniter100, who is a technology incubator who can actually help us to catch up with what we may have missed out on. Okay? And I want to go into more details. Igniter100 is a fully registered company in the UK on August 2017. They are located on 14 Street Avenue, EC2I 9DT, London, on the 6th floor in a very prestigious office. Company registration number is available. I've checked them out on Company House. They're there, legit. All the owners, it's very clear who is owners. And also it's quite rare to find many companies, but they also have a VAT number. Now, let's talk about who are their advisors and partners. Let's start off with PwC. PwC stands for Pricewaterhouse and Coopers. They are the second largest professional auditing firm in the whole world. alongside with Deloitte and KPMG. They're also proud to be members of the London Chamber of Commerce. Lawyers are Garfield Smith, DOT Partners, Amazon Web Services, Startup Funding Club, and their KYC, Know Your Clients, identification is carried out by a third-party company who use biometrics called Anfido. Let's talk about who is the corporate team. Good news, 70% of the corporate team is actually based in the United Kingdom, London. Now, Florian Kruger, the CEO, one of the CEOs of the company, by the way, you can check out any of them on LinkedIn. You'll be amazed by the tremendous testimonials from fellow CEOs and very professional, profound individuals, what they have said about them. So you got CEO Florian Kruger, Abdul Rahman, and by the way, Florian's got lots of experience in the banking industry. Abdul Rahman Sandhu, he's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of the company, who I actually get to spend quite quality time with at the office and training in the head office. Very hardworking individual. And basically he's an ACCA qualified. He's got his own firm. He's an accountant by profession. And next person is Oliver Marks, Senior Advisor to the company, another one of the CEOs. And he's based in the US. Florian and Abdul are based in the UK. Then you've got Omar and the rest of the team. I'm not gonna go into details with each one of them, but I can assure you that this is simply incredible. Right, now, part of the corporate team as well, we have someone from Dubai, Israel. Then we have senior graphic designer, etc. Feel free to go on LinkedIn and check them all out, okay? Now, let's talk about Igniter100. What exactly do they do? So Igniter100 provides funding to startup companies, mostly in disruptive fintech, and an offsite incubator environment through which promising fintech startups can find the resources and tools needed to thrive. We believe that collaboration between forward-thinking entrepreneurs and a proven global business facilitates innovation and success. We seek startup companies who want to leverage their vision with Igniter100's existing capabilities. Igniter100 has 93 external and 3 internal projects, 90% of them currently operating in the UK and have been generating profits gradually. Let's talk about a couple of them. These are some of the external projects that they have. I'm sure most of you might have come across Tuk Tuk Chai, which was actually featured on BBC on Dragon's Den in UK. You got Polysolar, using a lot of technology, how you keep your generate energy through your windows, and so on and so forth. But what I'm probably gonna do is, out of the 93 external projects which have a global potential to be as big as Uber, I'm just gonna show you 2 of them, okay, for the purpose of time. The first one is called FingerPay, and have a look. There you go.
We all have a unique vein pattern hidden in our fingers. How this intricate biometric signature can be used to identify you and pay for transactions. There's no need for cash, cards, or mobile. FingerPay uses Hitachi Vein ID technology. Harmless infrared light maps the 3D pattern of your veins. As finger vein patterns are inside the body and invisible from the outside, unlike fingerprints, they leave no trace and cannot be copied. It is an ideal biometric for high security authentication. The image is converted into an encrypted template and matched to the one stored on our database. It confirms your identity in a matter of seconds. FingerPay is an efficient, intelligent, and secure way to handle transactions. The payment as unique as you.
Brilliant idea. I'm just now going to show you the next second external project among the 93 external projects, which has another global potential. Okay, it's called Curate. Let's go.
I really needed to see a doctor, but it was a Saturday and our GP is closed on Saturday. I've got 2 children who are 6 and 4, and I have spent many hours this year in A&E looking after the kids, but I didn't want to spend that time with them there for me. I had heard about Cured and I used the app and I had a doctor there within 20 minutes and I had a prescription within 30 minutes. Had I not got that prescription on the Saturday and waited 2 days, I probably would have had a major blood poisoning. The experience was so professional and so smooth and so worth the money. The doctor was brilliant, and really good with the girls. They were around within 2 hours. It's kind of a security. It's a brilliant way of knowing that if you can't get a people, there is somebody there that will come out to the house and see you.
Brilliant. What a concept that is. Now, let's talk about some of the internal projects of the company. Now, one of the internal projects is called, one of the internal projects is called Practice PA. Practice PA is for accountancies, for accountants from basic and how to manage their resources. Urent is targeted at the £6 billion industry, letting industry, which will help estate agents and landlords to minimize their overheads, have an online presence, and have it cheaper by 80% compared to Zoopla, Prime Location, and Rightmove, because customer also gets lots of benefits, and among them is the fact that their properties can be advertised on 4 engines at a much cheaper price than advertising on just one of the engines. Then there is crypto change, a place you exchange your cryptocurrency. You have Yisel, which is a communication tool that helps customers and companies, suppliers, to communicate more effectively and cutting down the overhead cost as well. CryptoShop, again, that's your one first point of contact for your crypto as well. And the video box is basically a technology which brings YouTube and Zoom together. And this will be like none other, second to none. And as you know, technology is moving on. So I'm just going to share with you. I'm just going to show you the websites briefly. Right. So the first one, Practice PA. So that's their website. As you can see, Practice PA is a cloud-based compliance tool for professional accountants in the United Kingdom. It provides a comprehensive set of alerts that are automated to a customer's profile, which manages all critical dates and deadline. Next one, Urent. Urent is a rental community for landlords and tenants, the online portal to find, advertise, and manage properties through Rightmove and Zoopla. I tell you the truth, this is gonna be phenomenal. Zoopla, Rightmove, and Prime Location, they've basically captured about 20% of the £6 billion letting industry in the United Kingdom. Urent is aiming at the 80%, and you'll soon find out how they do that. Okay. Next one is CryptoShop. Again, as you can see here, for those who love their cryptos, you are not left out. Here you go. This is for you. There we go. Useful. As I said, it's a mobile applications which helps businesses and suppliers, and also helps companies to cut down their overhead costs. Okay, it's really incredible. From CRM, Tasker, Marketer, Invoicer, Emailer, it does literally A to Z. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back to the presentation and show you something more. Now, what is the future of Igniter100 and what is their future plans? One of them, these are now what you call mega projects, okay? And just one of their projects going through all the way, and as you know, most projects will go through as we in technologies on high demand, but just one of them would still turn this company into a multi-billion-dollar company, or multi-billion-pound company, and I'll explain to you why. So let's start with Igniter Pay. Igniter Pay, I'm sure you've heard of, or you have a card with Revolut Bank, an online bank called Revolut, or Sterling Bank. These are both banks that you open from your mobile app, and they basically run online. Now, one of them actually is worth about $2 billion, okay? And the other one as well, about 2.7 billion. Now, they haven't been running for so long, yet they've already crossed the 1 billion mark, which many companies sought after to achieve. So this company is bringing their own similar to that, but with more benefits and much more interactive. That will be already, that project alone will turn this company into over £1 billion company. Next one is Igniter Index. Now, Igniter Index, it's amazing. I'm sure you've heard or you've come across the FTSE 100 index. You can Google it, you can do a research. It is worth about 2.054 trillion. And the gentleman that helped to build it is Gareth Parker. Now, FTSE 100 obviously index, for those who have lots of money or want to invest in the top 100 companies, instead of going to invest into each company individually, what they tend to do, they just buy an index from FTSE 100. And that index basically contains all the top 100 companies, and they automatically have shares in all those 100 companies. For example, if one of those companies was to go bust, then they still retain 99% of their equities, because the index contains 100 companies, not just one. So those of you who love to share, reduce your risk, spread your risk, and have your eggs in different baskets, Igniter100 is the perfect platform for you, because Igniter Index is exactly like FTSE 100. And here's the amazing coincidence. The person helping Igniter100 to build their index is the very same person who helped to build the FTSE 100 index. His name again is Gareth Parker. I'm going to show you a little clip with him speaking to one of the CEOs of Igniter100, the senior advisor. And moving on, again, as you can see, that alone is a multi-billion project on its own. Good news, it's already being set up. It's being set up, and it should be out at some point. Okay. Now the next one, the big one as well, is the Igniter MTF. What is MTF? MTF stands for Multilateral Trading Facility. Now, how many of you are acquainted with London Stock Exchange? London Stock Exchange was founded in about 1571. It's probably the oldest and the most traditional British exchange. Now, the amazing thing is, with the Igniter MTF they're building, will be similar or resemble the London Stock Exchange. However, it will have more benefits and the ability to exchange more commodities and stocks and shares. So this will be a very interesting one. Now, that one is such a huge project, so it's going to take some time to actually come out, but they're currently on the ground working on that. It will take maybe a year or two, but once it's out, I tell you the truth, even if 99% of all these companies were to go under the water, if the MTF was the only one that went through, I almost stress that each share will be beyond the roof. So I'm sure you can see the potential here is quite huge, and in the future of fintech. Now I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a clip of Gareth Parker speaking to our senior advisor at Igniter100. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Oliver Marks, and I'm here with Gareth Parker from Moorgate Benchmarks. Work's progressing very well on the revised ICO. We've nearly completed the white paper. We're just doing the finishing touches on that, and the launch is on track. And in parallel, we're very hard at work on phase one of the MTF and the Igniter100 Index family launches. And I've got Gareth here from Moorgate Benchmarks to give you a quick update on the index planning work. Gareth.
Yes, hi Oliver. Yes, it's late evening on Friday here, and sadly enough, I'm still sitting in the office and looking at things. But this is an exciting project for us. We've got about 3 work streams on the go at the moment. We're just finishing up the first, which is to basically scope out the scale of this project, have a first idea of what the costs may be, what the actual deliverables are, and who we might partner with. The stuff that gets really interesting, especially to me as the ex-head of research for FTSE and for S&P, is the actual design of a series of cryptocurrency indices. We're pretty convinced that although there are cryptocurrency indices out there at the moment, that none of them are actually fit for purpose. They've been designed by some very clever people, but they're not actually going to answer the need that we think the market has, especially the legacy financial world. So phase 2 for us is actually getting down there and figuring out how to build a new set of indices which meet the market's needs in a new way. And then the third work phase, which we're working on in parallel, is to simply think how we're going to actually deliver this. The design, Moorgate Benchmarks will do itself of the indices. We might do the administration and calculation. We might outsource that to another calculation service. We might outsource other bits and pieces of things. There's a regulatory angle as well. There's a European Union regulatory law that's just come into effect, which impacts this project as well. Nothing we can't handle, but it makes it even more interesting.
As you have seen, that is a mega project, and we have probably one of the biggest names in the industry working with us. And just to let you know, he has a very keen interest in the index of Igniter, because he actually owns a good number of shares as well. Remember the story of the richest man in the world who owns 16% of Amazon? I have a feeling this is just about to be repeated. Okay, so you might not want to miss out on that as well. Okay, right. Now let's talk about the passive income. Okay, and just to recap something I probably would like to mention to you now. Solmax is actually a marketing partner of Igniter100. Okay, however, Igniter100 deals with all the payments and etc. Okay, now let's look at this. Now the company owns Igniter100 owns 1 billion equity tokens. Now these equity tokens, I'm going to be using the word shares more often than tokens, as I'm used to that, but more importantly because that's actually what the equity tokens will convert into shares. Okay, so I'll interchangeably use both words, tokens or shares. I mean the exact same thing. Now they have 1,000 million equity tokens, which is 1 billion tokens. Now 490 million has been issued to the market, 510 with the founders. The equity tokens started at 1 penny. Today's price, each equity token costs 15p and 37. Yes, you can say 0.1537, okay, pounds. Now, what is the potential growth of each equity token? Each equity token is backed up by Igniter100 projects and is expected to rise in price from £6 to £8 in 24 months period, which could roughly be just around January 2021, once 70% of equity ETS of market cap will have been sold. Okay, so I'm going to be using the word ETS as well to mean equity tokens. What is there a return that you can get on a monthly? Absolutely. There is a monthly dividend paid. Current formula on this is 0.0009 multiplied by each equity token. The company aims to pay 0.01 on each equity token. Okay, so for example, if you have let's say 32,530 equity tokens, sorry, if you had, let's say 100,000 equity shares, if you are getting paid 0.01 on each, that could work out a monthly dividend of £1,000. Okay, they also have a PCM bonus, which is paid daily to you only on elite and above packages, which I'm going to talk about in a second. What is an elite and above package will be on my next slide. Good thing also, each package amount is allowed to withdraw up to 0.3% daily at ETS rate. So whatever the rate will be on the day, you can withdraw 0.3%. Okay. Now, fintech educational packages are rewarded with equity tokens. So you acquire a fintech educational package, and with it comes the equity tokens I've been speaking to you about. Now, each equity token functions as a traditional stock asset. They represent ownership of some third-party asset or venture and take the value from that property's success or failure. Okay, I'm just gonna work some examples here for you. Okay, just bear with me. Right. Now, I'm going to talk about the elite package, which is the level 6. Why is that? Because it's only from elite package and above, you are able to earn a daily PCM bonus, which is called a presidential club member, because company sees you as one of their official extended, highly esteemed elite member, because you're coming in with, a reasonable and significant amount of shares. Therefore, obviously, you deserve a little bit more. So not only do you get a daily PCM bonus, you also get extra 3% equity tokens alongside with that. Okay, and the other benefits, which I will not talk about at the moment. But what I'd like to do is I'll calculate for you. I'll show you an example. If you can see the calculator on the left-hand side. So if you came in with £5,000, okay, which is the elite shares, very special promotion on this, you divide by the current value as of this video of the current ETS, which is 0.1537 equals, you would have 32,530 ETS, equity tokens, multiply by £6, which is the minimum expected by maybe Jan 2021, you would make £195,185. That's roughly about $230,000. Okay, that is staggering amount. Okay, let's say somebody else wanted to go a bit extra and wanted to put 10,000. Let's calculate that. So £10,000 would give you how many equity tokens? Divide by 0.1537 equals, that would give you 65,061 equity tokens. Price goes to £6, multiply by 6. That will be 390,000 British pound. That's staggering again. And that works out maybe around $450,000. Okay, so you can't compare what you put in with what you're getting out. Okay, and let's assume somebody else went for £500. So if I did £500 and divide by 0.1537 equals, you'd have 3,253 equity tokens. At £6, that would give you £19,000 and 518. Okay, so that's how you work it out, and you can choose what's best for you. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm just gonna encourage you to get back to the person that shared this information with you, and they can be able to be of some assistance. Again, my name is Philip. If I'm the one that shared this video with you and you're hearing my voice right now, this is your time. They say the decision is yours, but the timing is not yours. Because I know a gentleman who was able, a business partner of mine, he was able to acquire these equity tokens, and he took the level 7, the Supreme, and because each equity token was only 1 penny, he has 1 million equity tokens at the moment, which means at £6, that will be £6 million. So I kind of missed out because, he mentioned these things to me then, but there wasn't a video at the time. So I'm glad for your sake that I'm able to do this video for you. I hope you've been blessed with this information, and you just, not saying this, Donald Trump once said something, he said there are 2 types of people, those who take action and those who let opportunities pass them by. And he asked the crowd, which one are you? Okay, so get back to me and I'll be able to help you with any questions you have. And also I'll be of great help to help you acquire the equity tokens for yourself. And the process, I found it to be super, super simple. Thank you very much and have a lovely day, lovely evening, or a lovely morning. Thank you. Bye-bye.